Oh, my scoozy.
Scoozy.
My scoozy.
The only thing I have to say is, my baby takes the morning train. He works from 9 to 5, and then he takes another home again to find me watching Manchester United, the greatest football team in the world. Woohoo! Sorry, I had to get that out of my system.
Pretty damn good.
Pretty damn good, lads.
All right, so we're going to call this one our 100-ish episode special.
Yes.
We put out 100-ish videos at this point in time, give or take.
Give or take. The sudden, let's do episode by episode things kind of threw off.
Yeah, suddenly episode by episode for Last of Us and Vox Machina made this one much sooner than we were expecting.
Yeah.
So, 100-ish. And I am Nick. This is Lance. We're joined by Amber. And we watched Eurotrip.
If you're not... If all of the opening clues hadn't told you that this was Eurotrip...
You know, maybe people haven't seen it before, and specifically the unrated version.
Woo!
That's the version I have.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one that you watched as well, because that was the version that was available.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And honestly, I only think I know it as the unrated version.
I mean, we watched it a lot.
I think the one that used to come on TV was...
I think it was unrated, because I think it normally came on Cinemax.
One of the movie channels that you guys
And so they
had.
can put on, I mean, Cinemax, HBO, Showtime, they all can put it up as unrated if they wanted.
With Cooper at the beginning, I always remember every version where he gets in the hot tub with the girl. Like, she's always got her titties out whenever she's doing the thing.
Yeah.
So, and I love the line as he's going into the hot tub. Well, there's your R rating.
Yeah.
You know, it's good stuff.
But
I think
spoilers for later scenes in the
Not
film.
really a spoiler. But.
So, yeah. So this movie is one we have seen numerous times. Because that was when Tim lived over at your guys' old place. And I would go over, every weekend.
Yeah.
And, hang out with you guys and Tim. And
we'd be playing video games
You'd be
till
playing
wee
video
hours
games
in
and
the morning, and somehow, inevitably, we found this movie every weekend for over a month.
well, at least you guys would be watching your screen, so you'd put up something like Eurotrip. That's nice and low effort because we've seen it before. So that would be up on the screen, and I have seen this movie probably 20, 30 times at this point.
But it's still good.
And I think I've seen this movie 4 times this week. Because I watched it. I'm like, I need to watch this movie again, despite the fact that I think I watched it last year. And then I was like, there's 2 commentary tracks. So I watched the first commentary track, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll watch the next one. Which the second commentary track was called the party along track, where they played a drinking game. Every time there was nudity, underage drinking, or swearing, they would take a drink.
Those dudes were fucked up.
They got plastered.
Yeah.
So that commentary got less and less helpful over time.
It went from them talking a little bit about it to eventually it just gets quiet and you hear people being like, and then someone underage kid drinks and they're like, oh.
Well, during the commentary, one of the it was the 3 writers / directors. One of them called up. Someone named Rebecca was like, I'm really drunk. You have to come get me. And they ordered pizza during the commentary, and they even asked the pizza man, do you want to sit in? Have you ever seen Eurotrip? Want to sit in on the commentary? He's like,
That's all. Okay, yeah, you need to leave that. You need to leave this. I need to hear this now.
All right. So that's kind of a preview of things to come.
Yes.
And he also managed to come by a little bit early while we were still watching it. But we have a 2-year-old, so sometimes we get a little behind on our viewing needs.
So I guess I've seen 4 or watched it 3 3/4 time this week.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, but I think it's time to
let's
do our...
Let's start with ratings.
Yeah, let's do our scores.
And then we'll get into spoiler-ish stuff from there. So, Amber,
Yeah.
if you were to give Eurotrip a score from 0 to 10, what would you give it?
You know, I always have fun with this movie. It never fails to disappoint. If the sheer fact of how much we quote it isn't an indication of that, I have to give it a solid 8.
Hey!
Hey!
I was worried I went too low there for a second. Hey, Lance, what about you?
It's one of those flicks where every single time it comes on, I'm never like, this again. It's always fun. I'm going to give this movie a solid 9.
Ah, damn it. I went too low. I waffled on that.
I did not waffle.
I considered giving it a 10 because this is one of those movies where it's just like every single time it's on, we watch it, and every single time it's on, someone will always go me a scoozy or something.
Well, let's be real. We just randomly say that in our life.
That's part of our
years.
part of our existence.
Like we're
now.
gaming at Shane's place or whatever, and I just kind of like walk up and rub on you and go, "Oh, my scoozy,"
and I'm like, get back on there.
"Ah, my scoozy."
So how about you, Nick?
I think I'm gonna give this one a 9 as well.
Damn it!
It's close to a 10, honestly. But I think
I was
there's
so off tonight.
it's so what it is like this isn't a good movie.
Oh no, there's bad acting, there's bad dialogue, but it plays off itself so well, and you can tell. And like it feels like everybody who was like all the people that I really love watching in this, you can tell they had to have fun filming their scenes.
And it's silly, it's fun. I think it's probably one of the only like boner road trip comedies that I enjoy. I generally don't enjoy like the hey, let's go on a road trip to get laid or whatever.
Yeah.
There's not many of those movies that are super interesting to me.
Sex Drive was another good movie.
It was okay, but it's not one I'm super into. I mean, Sex Drive was okay, but I'm not super into that.
I got to see Cyclops say schnutz. That was great.
He was the brother in that one?
He was the brother in that one.
So. Remember Seth Green was the Amish man.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really remember.
But I just remember the first time Cyclops was like, I wouldn't trust you with my schnutz or something like that. I was like, the fuck are schnutz?
But, all right.
So this movie it's not a great movie per se, but I just enjoy the hell out of it.
And it's always more fun with friends.
With people. I think that's kind of the point of it. You sit down with friends, and a lot of the weird, stupid jokes catch on. At least they did with us.
I mean, you got Michelle Trachtenberg, a lot of other people that you wouldn't know their names, but you've probably seen their faces in other things. But like, I love Cooper. Like, he was my favorite part of that movie because he was like, I mean, not only did he have the fourth wall break with there's your R rating right there. Like, I loved that part. All of his lines were great.
I guess we talk about the movie, so be prepared.
Yeah.
If for some reason you want to see Eurotrip,
yeah,
I don't think it's.
I don't think it's streaming anywhere.
I don't think it's streaming anywhere. So I think you either have to rent it or buy it somewhere. And
it's worth it.
Do you like early aughts boner comedies? Even if you don't, because I don't, I still find it funny.
Yeah, if you want a fun, like almost like small party kind of video to watch where people can watch, drink, and have a good time, this is probably right up that alley.
Yeah, and if you play their drinking game that they do on the commentary, you're going to get blitzed, so don't do that.
If you're 14, you're going to love this movie because there's titties all over it. So
There's lots of titties.
Yeah.
And dudity. And lots of dudity.
And dicks, too. It's a field of phalluses.
Good Lord, yeah. And then they start running. Oh, good God help
All
me.
right. So that was your warning. For spoilers.
Yes.
There's no There's no spoilers in this movie. It's like there's no big reveal, like, you know.
Well, but we're gonna go into some more.
Talk about the jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna ruin more jokes. So
we're gonna quote more jokes and try not to, because that's not fun.
Except it is kind of fun.
It's fun for us.
I mean, let's face it. This movie's going to be seen by 5 people, and 3 of them are sitting at this table right now. So,
and one of them might be Tim.
And one of them might be Tim, and then there's going to be that random person that goes, "Hey, Miami Vice, number one new show." So,
Miami Vice, number one new show.
This is how you know. This is how you know this is a passion project for us.
So they were going to put Golden Girls instead as the new show, and he's like, "I can't wait to see those ladies." But Miami Vice number one new show is so much better.
I mean, I think they were like, they did the "Where's the beef" joke, and then they were like,
"Hey, where's the beef?"
Yeah, let's lean away from old ladies for like one other joke. So, I want to watch it again after we do this recording now.
Well, if you're really going to watch the commentary, I'll leave you the disc.
Yeah.
Please do. I definitely want to watch the commentary now.
So, I guess we just go, like, one of the other things that we quote constantly, because it's an amazing bop of a song.
But Scotty doesn't
know.
The Fiona and me do it in our van every Sunday.
Because if you didn't know, Matt Damon makes a guest appearance as the lead singer of this band for Scotty's high school girlfriend who breaks up with him on his graduation day. Apparently, she's been having this at least year-long affair with this rock band singer.
Oh, with a lot of people, apparently.
Yeah.
And apparently, I've never watched Smallville. She's Lana Lang.
I've never watched
No
Smallville.
shit.
In Smallville, I never watched the show.
I never watched
I watched it either, but damn.
So she came in, like, she actually flew in from America because this movie was shot in Prague. So she flew in to actually do her little guest spot or whatever. And then Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt Damon was there. He's very charismatic for what little bit you see, and he really is just like screaming into a microphone.
Yeah.
What you see
Lip
on
syncing
an
the song,
amazing
man.
bop of a song.
Yeah,
That
it's a good
song
song.
is so catchy.
She tells him
If you
she's
haven't-
in church, but
if
she
you-
doesn't go. Still, she's on her knees, and Scotty doesn't know.
If you need to look up the song on YouTube,
good.
it's worth listening to.
I would say find the movie.
Yeah.
It's good.
The
like
movie-
that scene in particular.
That song was so good.
More weird random cameos for Matt Damon because Matt Damon was in.
He loves doing weird cameos.
Yeah, he was. What's that one where he was with Alan Tudyk and someone showed up and beat the crap out of him?
Wasn't that Guardians of the Galaxy?
Was it Guardians?
Was it Ronan that showed up and like kicked the shit out of them?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I
when
thought
they
it
were,
was,
there were people on a farm
and they were talking like baby powder or something
They
like
were
that.
sitting on the back of a truck.
and someone showed up from another planet, beat the shit out of him.
I thought it was
No, it was Deadpool because Thanos.
was Deadpool.
because
It was-
it's not Thanos that showed up. It was
Cable.
It was
Ca-
Cable.
Cable
It
showed
was.
up.
It was.
Okay.
Because Matt Damon is
In the MCU, he is
Loki.
actor Loki.
he's actor Loki in the MCU.
Yeah, so he was random cameo in the MCU, random cameo in Deadpool, random
And
cameo in
a
Eurotrip.
lot of times when he does those random cameos, he uses his stage name from the character he played in The Talented Mr. Ripley. So, like, if you look up the credits, it doesn't say Matt Damon; it says somebody else. In Eurotrip, it actually does state Matt Damon because I saw
Matt
that.
Damon.
Matt Damon.
But yeah, in other films, like there's like the name that he uses is I think the name of one of
Okay.
the aliases he had as the Talented Mr. Ripley.
Okay, I'm not.
I've never watched that.
I'm not me neither. But whenever I see him in credits, usually it just says like Matt Damon uncredited.
Yeah.
So I want to throw a few things out there. So this movie was led mainly by a bunch of people that you don't know,
Yeah,
and
I've not seen since really.
And Michelle Trachtenberg.
Michelle Trachtenberg.
Harriet the Spy and Dawn Summers. Those are her two major roles to her name.
And then you have Matt Damon show up as Donnie. You have Vinnie Jones as Mad Maynard.
He loves Manchester United.
Yeah, you're the greatest fucking football team in the world. And if you don't know who Vinnie Jones is,
He's also Juggernaut.
he's Juggernaut and he's Bullet Tooth Tony. So that's one of those names you're going to know him from. You had Fred Armisen as literally his name in the movie was Creepy Italian Guy.
Yeah, right, the Italian Creeper.
Yeah. You had Lucy Lawless as,
I loved her.
as Madame van der Sex.
On Wondersex.
Hans! Gruber! Oh my god, this is just so much. There's so much good quotable shit.
We have Diedrich Oswald.
Thank you for saying it right. Diedrich Bader.
No, it's Diedrich Oswald. I
Yeah.
think
That
we've had
was-
this discussion.
Yeah, it's early on knowing Lance. I knew Diedrich Bader from the Drew Carey Show, where he was Oswald. So whenever he would show up in that movie, it would be like, oh, cool, Oswald. And you're like, his name's Diedrich Bader. Like, okay, compromise Diedrich Oswald.
And now it's always Diedrich Oswald, and it drives him crazy, which only encourages us to do it
Yeah, if
more.
he was just like,
because
okay, fine,
much
fine.
like a toddler, if you teach us that our bad behavior gets a reaction, we're going to continue.
Yeah. Moving on. You had Jeffrey Tambor as Scott's dad.
So, and apparently he was in Prague shooting Hellboy. So they called him up and he did a shoot for a day.
That's awesome. Yeah. It was just like, I can buy a couch with that money. Sure. I'll show up and say a few
I guess
lines.
the writers were... I don't think I've seen anything else they've done because I don't really watch Seinfeld.
I don't watch
And
that.
I've not watched Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I don't really watch
But
Curb Your
they're
Enthusiasm either.
established writers, so I'm sure they've got a breadth of people that they can reach out to grab.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, for us, I think Fred Armisen really stole the show in most of it, like every scene he's in. And then Lucy Lawless also in hers.
Yeah, she was.
Which, I mean, this is at the height. If for some reason you don't know who Lucy Lawless is, this is kind of near the height of a lot of her TV shows that she was in, because she was just coming off of her multi-year stint as Xena, the Warrior Princess.
We looked it up when we were watching it.
2001.
It ended at 2001.
This was 2004 was when it was released, so she probably filmed it right on the heels of Xena. And then Battlestar Galactica, the sci-fi version that came out in the early 2000s, she's also got a role in that.
Okay.
It's a small role in the first season. It gets expanded in later seasons too, further on. So again, it's kind of continuing her exposure. So she should be a fairly well-known name and commodity in most households in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Or Ash vs. the Evil Dead. She was in that too.
Yeah.
You also
Ruby, I think. I think Ruby was the name of the character.
I started watching that show because I love me some Bruce Campbell, but like that show was not good.
It was okay.
I couldn't get into it.
It was okay. I enjoyed it.
You also, last two people I want to mention from the movie was Mindy Sterling, who you probably know as Frau Farbissina from the Austin Powers movies.
Yeah. And
then you had Joanne Lumley, who's in a show that got pretty popular here called Absolutely Fabulous, or AbFab.
Who's...
So she was the lady who was cut out.
Okay, the part that was cut out.
Yeah, and
the one who was running like the hostel.
If you have valuables, hide them up your bottom.
No.
Hide them in your anus.
In your anus.
In your anus.
Yes.
Okay,
and
that's it. Okay, I know who that is because I recognized her.
You're missing one other cameo.
Oh shit.
Yeah, David Hasselhoff has a brilliant cameo that we've come to learn he might not know he had.
I'm so sorry, I almost missed that.
Yeah,
okay.
no.
Du Vic alles. I don't know what he's saying, but damn, that song is.
And you know why?
Germans
love David Hasselhoff.
Yes, they do. Because don't hassle the fucking off. If he wants to eat a cheeseburger drunk on the floor, let him eat a cheeseburger drunk on the floor. Jesus.
So when I was watching the commentary, Kevin Smith was going to be in this movie, but he was busy with editing Jersey Girl.
What was he going to do?
When they were leaving America, and they were getting the cheap flights, and here's your packages that you have to take with you, he would have been the clerk handing out the packages.
Okay, interesting. That probably would have brought that movie up to a 10 for me. So, because I love me some Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
But Tusk is a terrible movie. Don't watch it.
This is not a Tusk.
And just because I also have to say, Scott Mechlowitz is Scotty. Jacob Pitts is Cooper. Kristen Kurik is Fiona. Kruk. And you had Michelle Trachtenberg as Jenny, and you had Travis Wester as Jamie. Those were your mains. Those were the people that we followed.
And they were good. They played off each other well.
Yes, they did.
Oh, well, they were fantastic.
And like a good mix of personalities, and you get to know them pretty quick.
Yes.
And you want Scotty to go across the country and pick up this random German girl that he thought was a dude. You're rooting for him.
You're kind of rooting for him, and one of the things about Cooper I like the long game of him just utterly failing upwards. In his career, because I think he was starting an internship at
some company, I don't remember,
that I think his family got him in at, and he had a company phone, so they had a single cell phone with them. And in 2004, that's not atypical, and he just would get random calls, and like he'd be getting yelled at by his boss, and he would just throw out this guy Humphrey's name, and apparently anything he said his boss just believed. So it's like, he's got to be like one of the greatest con artists ever, because he was just going to, because he ended up getting a promotion at that job by the end of it. It's like, what?
Just important, because that joke is one of the rule of threes or whatever, because early on he takes the call and he's like, you're just not even going to tell him that you went on vacation. I'm like, man, it's too hard. And they'd stop paying me.
Yeah, they stopped paying me, so yeah.
And then you get the call in the middle where you're kind of like, oh, okay. But then it comes back near the end like, yeah, you got fired. It's like, no, Humphrey got fired.
I got promoted. And an office.
Yeah. And it's like I think I made the joke of like this is everything wrong with a
bit of nepotism and failing upwards.
Everything wrong with white America sometimes.
I've been failing for years and I have not moved upwards. I'm doing it wrong somehow.
You clearly don't have the right nepotism track.
You need to fail up, not just fail. So we'll have to try to fix that.
I need to find the up then.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of this entire movie is
I'm gonna Pope.
Hey, look at me! I'm gonna Pope. Yeah, that part's fantastic. No, like it's hard to say like what a favorite part is because like it seems like every scene there's something hilarious.
And they managed to move on pretty quickly, which is why they cut the hide it up your anus thing because they were in Amsterdam for too long. Time to move on.
Right.
Yeah,
So
they kept everything kind of depicted.
Yeah.
Go to Britain, do a couple jokes. Go to France, do a couple jokes. Go to Amsterdam, do some jokes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like 9 times out of 10 when you get movies like this, it's like there are like 3 really funny jokes, and then there's just a lot of like drudgery. Every single stop, there was something funny. Van der Sex is fucking hilarious. Flippity fluke flying, like that whole part was hilarious.
It's also rare in that they go to Amsterdam and they all split up, and I think all 3 of them have a funny thing. So he goes to Van der Sex, that's funny.
Yeah.
Jamie gets a blowjob and robbed,
I love you.
and that's funny.
I love you, and like he's getting
Dietrich
robbed.
Oswald.
Yeah, Dietrich Bader's robbing him.
Dietrich
And he's
Oswald,
like,
say it right.
I love you, and he's just like.
I like they're making out and he kind of pauses for a minute. It's like, wait, this is great. Like this is neat or whatever.
This is great.
This is great.
Can I just say this is great? And she was like, "You're adorable." But like whenever he's like what would he say? He put the gun on him. He's like, "Give me the money." And he's like, "Stop!" And then the girl like pops her head. And he's like, "No, not you. You're fine." And she goes back down.
And then Jenny and Scott go to buy hash brownies, but these are not hash brownies.
These are not hash brownies. I started watching this movie. And the girls, they never came. Yeah. They never came.
Yes, I watched a gay porno once.
I
Got halfway through it.
I kept waiting for the girls.
The girls never came.
They never came. That happened to me. Anyways, yeah, that part was hilarious. Although the hash brownie part not as funny.
It was still good.
It was
like-
still.
but
You had funny bits in it.
Yeah, I like how they snapped out of it the entire time.
Yeah.
It's like there was that haze around the camera, and she got the munchies, and it's like there's no hash in this brownies. So they did the haze went whip and wiped right out of there.
Sit your ass down, white boy.
You're a bad Rastafari. Van der Sex was probably the funniest joke in the entire movie, and then they followed it up with him wearing the shirt and doing the funny walk.
Yeah.
Hans and Gruber, I remember the first time I heard that, I fucking died.
Hans
Gruber! The other thing that I did notice this time is like watching her face, and you know how whenever he was like looking at the password, and he's like, "Oh, come on, what is this?"
Oh, yeah.
And every time they would go to Lucy Lawless' face, she had like the look on her face like,
Yeah,
but,
go
like,
ahead. You go ahead, say it.
But every single time it was the side view of her face, she was like into it.
Oh, yeah.
Like so.
It's like when he's doing that, she's like biting the tip of her glove or whatever. Like this is for her.
Yeah, she was into it.
Yeah.
Every single stop had something funny. The truck driver was fucking hilarious.
No, yeah,
I'm not going nowhere near Berlin.
He's going to Berlin.
I just like how he's like, I speak some bad German. Hold on a second. Hello. And the guy's like, hello. And he looked back at his friends like, see?
Look at that.
I'm on top of this. But yeah, one time I stabbed a girl. Like, how did you mistake that motion for, I'm taking you to Berlin?
He's driving.
Yeah. Nowhere near Berlin. But yeah, every single thing, every part of this movie is just a delight. I challenge you to watch this flick and tell us what you did not like about it in the comments.
I mean, it's possible. Like it's a boner comedy,
Yeah,
and those aren't for everyone. They're not for me. I don't like them, but I still like this movie.
well, it's like I think if we would have watched this movie all independently, it would have been like half of it was good and half of it was bad. But because the first time we watched it,
It was all together.
it was all together, and like we were cracking up the entire fucking flick.
Yeah.
And like this, me a scoozy. That's a thing that's been in our life now for what 20 years.
It's been a long
Just
time.
about.
Yeah. So like.
Don't go in any dark tunnels.
Yeah, big tunnel. And speaking of stuff that you keep seeing, I never realized when they went through the big tunnel that they had switched sides.
Yeah.
I had not noticed that until tonight. And like I even had to go back and roll it back, and y'all were like, "Yeah, you didn't notice that?" I was like, "No,
I always noticed it.
I never noticed that." So that dude like straight up jumped everybody on the other side. But yeah, and then he made the relapse, which was also hilarious. He came back later on in the movie.
Yeah. Well, I guess he was supposed to be in the Vatican as well, but
That makes sense.
That bit got cut out.
Yeah, you told us a lot of interesting tidbits.
Since I watched the commentaries,
Yeah.
and that kind of helped.
And that's why I want you to leave it. That sounds like it's really good.
And there was more like deleted end or the alternate ending, whatever, which I didn't watch. But it's supposed to be the bad ending or whatever, where like she goes down to, or Scotty goes down to tell Mika, they're like, I came all this way for you, and like, do you feel the same way? So like, no.
But then has a happy ending at the very
I
end.
think it's got a flip ending, but that's kind of where that little fairy comes at the end. It's like, happy ending is bullshit. Because they ended up putting in the happy ending. That's kind of like, man, this happy ending's bullshit.
Yeah, you pulled the punch.
But that's good. It needs a happy ending.
Yeah.
It
needs bare asses in a confessional in the Vatican.
Yeah, and you also need the commentary and the cutout part of Ralph Robisno being like, Humpa!
That's one of the deleted scenes is she walks out and grabs a random dude in the pew and goes back into the confessional with him.
Nice. Okay.
She comes in and says, I cheated on my husband.
This is true.
And then she's watching two people bang, so she walks out, grabs a dude, and pulls him into the confessional to cheat on her husband again.
Such is life.
I did enjoy the end credit scene where she was just like, do it this way, dude. Pull her hair out slowly.
Yeah. The entire movie's a delight. I don't want to talk about all of the movie because if there's one person that we've piqued your interest, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Because this is a really good movie.
Get stoned, have a couple of drinks, however you relax with your buddies.
Have some pot brownies.
Or if you're made to watch it with your friends.
Yeah, I mean, it's however you relax with friends. If
Yeah.
you don't need alternate substances to help you relax with friends,
Yeah.
Go into a sober.
It's definitely a watch with people movie. Watching it by yourself, you might be able to get some joy out of it, but I think having it with everyone when they do some of the weird, stupid shit, like whenever they get an email, it's like, mail, motherfucker.
Mail. I had that on my phone for a while, too.
Yeah, I remember that one for a while.
Yeah. There's a lot in this movie that's like literally seeped into our everyday lives. There's not a month that goes by that Nick doesn't walk behind me when we're at game and start massaging my shoulders like, me scusi.
Scusi.
So, but yeah, thank you for watching our 100th episode.
Yes.
100-ish.
100-ish.
100-ish episode. Hopefully you'll join us for 200 and then 300.
Who knows what we'll watch for 200?
Yeah, God
another
knows.
one we've watched a fuck ton of?
Yeah.
Probably.
But is there a bunch of movies we watched a fuck ton of?
There has to be.
Nothing's standing out.
We could do the perfect trilogy for 200.
That's a long commitment.
What are we talking about?
The best trilogy.
The best trilogy.
That would be Star Wars?
Lord of the Rings.
That would be the one. We're going to grind this into him until he's a poor shell of a man. So if you want to watch us slowly destroy Lance's soul,
Miscusi.
keep watching.
Yeah, Miscusi.
Miscusi.
That's me violating your brain. Oh, Miscusi.
Oh, and one other fun tidbit. This is how much we love this film. We had to come up with for a D&D campaign at one point, we had to come up with a family lineage. And we were struggling with, because we were all playing related characters. So we needed to all share the same last name.
And it needed to be a last name we were all happy with.
And we struggled. And a friend who does not share the same love for Eurotrip was kind of letting us take point. And eventually, so I think someone was like, hey, we could call ourselves Manchester United.
We should be the Manchester, so we could be the Manchester United.
And we're like, let's do it.
We don't care about football. We only like the Manchester United because they're in the best freaking football team in all the land.
And
Woohoo!
now that's part of a good friend's homebrew world.
And that was straight up like, we should call ourselves the Manchesters for Manchester United. And we were like, And then someone was like, the best friggin' football team in the world. Woohoo. And like, we were like, okay, on board.
Yep, there it is.
It turned that fast. So, it's and we'll be broadcasting that game where we were the Manchester United.
No, it's done already.
No, that one unfortunately.
We were very close to the ending, and then the pandemic murdered it.
And then the pandemic followed by 2 pregnancies from 2 different people.
Ooh, I think potatoes are ready.
Hey Google, stop timer. See,
I'm stopping any alarms and timers that are ringing.
we're very avant-garde.
So I hope if you're watching this, you didn't have any timers going.
Also, whenever you hear that chime now, hopefully your mouth drools and you think about potatoes.
Yes, potatoes.
Pavlovian response.
All right, I think we can put a bow on our 100th video special.
I think so.
So I think you're getting plenty of videos this week.
Yeah, because
So this is going to be a Wednesday.
and then there will have been Last of Us and 3 episodes of The Legend of Vox Machina and the Monday episode. I don't even know what Mondays is for you guys.
What is it? Is it the last Monday in January?
A lot.
It's not Gargoyles. That's all I know.
No, it's ours.
This is a passion project for us.
So it's already out. So this is going to be Wednesday. So Monday was Blast from the Past,
Oh, okay.
which means also on Monday would have been The Last of Us because that would have technically been Monday. And
Yeah.
is Vox Machina coming out on Sundays as well?
It'll probably be.
Thursdays.
Our videos will probably be Sunday. They probably came out Sunday. I might have staggered them over a few more days to kind of drive up viewership on each individual one. We'll find out. This is all speaking from the past, but yet the future. So come find out.
The future past.
We're all very good friends. We enjoy each other's company. This is a passion project for us, and we hope you like listening to us. And if you do, maybe you have friends that would like listening to us and giving us money, lots of money. Tell you what, just slip your hand in your pocket, reach around, kind of feel around in there.
Excuse me.
If you find that dollar, just send it to us through Patreon, and I'll come over to your house and be like.
And if you find that dollar, apparently you could be a millionaire over in Bratislava.
Yeah.
You see this? I buy my own hotel.
I quit.
So,
Right. So in order to prevent us from quoting more of the movie, bye everybody.
Bye.
where's the beef, huh?
Mommy Wife's #1 new show.